Based on the report published after INEC released the candidate nomination document, it is accurate that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu left the sections for primary and secondary education blank on his Form EC9 and listed only a Bachelor of Science BSc degree under higher education. Reports also state that he attached copies of his university degree certificate and NYSC certificate to his nomination papers. Okay. Now, I'm trying to be logic, balance the equation. The legal question, however, is separate from the political controversy. Let's be fair. What does the Nigerian Constitution require? Section 131 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, provide that a person is qualified for election as president if they, 1, are citizens of Nigeria by birth, 2, have attained the age of 35 years, 3, are a member of a political party and sponsored by that party, and then 4, have been educated up to at least the school certificate level or its equivalent. Now, friends, importantly, the Constitution does not expressly require a candidate to list every primary or secondary school attended on the Form EC9. Rather, the constitutional requirement is that the candidate possesses at least the minimum educational qualification prescribed by the Section 139D. That is Section 131D. In addition, Section 318 of the Constitution defines school certificate or its equivalent. Broadly, it includes not only a secondary school certificate, but also other educational or professional qualifications, and in some circumstances, evidence of education and work experience considered equivalent under the Constitution. However, friends, does leaving those sections blank automatically disqualify him from contesting the election? No. On the information currently available, the answer is no. Leaving the primary and secondary school sections blank does not automatically make a candidate constitutionally ineligible. A court will generally consider the following: 1, whether the candidate possesses the constitutional minimum educational qualifications, and then 2, whether the information supply is false. 3, whether any omission amount to a false declaration or constitutional breach. And then the 5th, whether supporting documents satisfy the legal requirements. So friends, simply leaving field blank is not by itself the same as proving that the candidate lacks the required qualifications. Okay, so let's answer this particular question. What about listing only BSc degree in the form? If a candidate merely wrote BSc without identifying the institution, that could raise questions about the completeness of the form. However, friends, recent reports indicate that President Tinubu's accompanying document identifies the degree as a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from Chicago State University, together with supporting certificates. The Metro Business quoted that. Now, what should INEC do? Under Nigerian electoral framework, INEC role is primarily administrative at this stage. It should, 1, publish the candidate personal particulars for public scrutiny, which it has done. All right. Now, the second thing is receive objections or legal challenges from any persons who believe the information submitted is false or does not meet constitutional requirements within the period provided by the Electoral Act. Okay. Now, allow the court to determine dispute over qualifications or alleged false information, since INEC generally does not have the power to unilaterally disqualify a presidential candidate over disputed qualifications without a court order. Okay, overall, friends, my own overall assessment based on the Constitution alone, the omission of primary and secondary school certificates from EC9 does not automatically mean President Tinubu is constitutionally ineligible to contest the presidency. Whether he satisfies the Section 131 depends on whether he possesses the constitutionally required educational qualifications. and whether his declarations are truthful. If any citizens or political party believes the nomination papers contain false information or fail to meet constitutional requirements, the appropriate remedy is to challenge the nomination through the court under the Fair Electoral Act. INEC responsibility is to publish the document and allow the statutory process. The ultimate determinations of disputed eligibility rest within the judiciary and not INEC. So friends, this is my own take. I like to balance both sides. In this form, I have viewed all clips from all bloggers shouting hell, hell, hell to heaven about leaving that section blank. I've seen Atiku's camp also putting out some media reports. I've seen all bloggers. First of all, I like to listen from both sides. I've seen all bloggers making comments, and most of them are saying, oh, he should be disqualified. But let's look at the constitutionality. Before Tinubu goes this way, they have advised him. You could see that he plays it smart. Okay? He plays it smart. Before, he was caught in the past. And now he doesn't want that reputation. Before he was able to leave that section blank and did what he was on, he's been protected by the law. Constitutionally, he cannot be denied the contest. So instead of me to be accused of putting false information, I'd rather leave it blank. Let me give you guys an example. If you are invited by the police for an interview, okay, don't be precise in giving accuracy or date. That's why you see some accused persons or a suspect, when they want to engage an interview, they use I recall. When you keep using I recall, you are not being definite. You are not being cornered. Okay? Because you are being cautious. You are being given an estimate. You see something. So your lawyer is going to advise you when you are being asked a question, just use the word recall. I recall. It means you are still thinking. You are not sure of what we are saying. But when they ask you on a specific date, you say, yes, this is the specific date. You are confirming you are sure of that date. But what they have in their file might be different. So you are incriminating yourself by giving false information. So rather than you being definite in date or information, use the word recall. I recall. Doctors are going to, go into mock interview with you. If they ask you this, say I recall. Once you use that word I recall, you are giving yourself a leeway of not being cornered. So what Tinubu does here was he leaves it blank because blank does not mean it's a false information. He might not be certain with date or the information of the school, so I better leave it vacant than putting a school that I'm not sure when it was created or when I graduated. So friends, let's be clear in that aspect. Okay, so I'll try to balance the equation. I didn't see anything wrong in the way he leaves it. He's listened to his lawyer's advice in filling that form. Okay, so let's play it smart and avoid these confrontations. All what you guys have to focus now is on the pie. What is the pie? The presidency come 2027. So that's my take on it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this clip. Keep watching, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Thanks.